Great morning. You guys come on in, come on in. Come on in. I'm doing a little multitasking. Y'all know I got to get my coffee together and I got to get ready for my shot. I'm doing a little something different with my coffee today. I'm adding some peanut butter cup hot cocoa. You ready for your shot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to fix it in just a minute.
Huh?
So I'm going to fix it in just a minute, okay?
No, I think I'm going to let you take the rest of that alive. It's making me lose weight.
You think that's making you lose weight, or you think it's the combination of that and the empowered? Because what do? You do the empowered.
I do the empowered and the Be Fit. And then at night,
You don't need to do the Be Fit. Don't do the Be Fit. Do the empowered and the alive, and then just cut out the Be Fit for you.
Yeah. Well, we ain't got that much alive anyway, so I'm gonna let you.
Y'all hear us having our live conversation? Because we almost out. We almost out. This man over here losing weight and don't want to lose weight. Meanwhile, baby, I'm down to 222.4. I lost 2 pounds, you guys. Well, I'll take it while we still, got some since we sharing. But I got to put an order in today, babe. It's all right, Pumpkin. I thought you had heard me tell the people I was doing something different with my coffee. You had your other thing in?
It's not on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I'm glad.
I thought you was talking to me.
Oh. Come here. Your hair show is looking good, sir.
Come on, girl.
Here, babe, take this, honey. Come on. Here. We'll just cut our shot down some.
Got some other stuff.
Good morning, everybody. Great morning. Great morning. We got to get our shot in. We almost out, honey. We over here like crackheads. Like, okay, let us ration it out because we sharing. I know, April. Cheers. Oh my God. Ooh. My God, today. Anyway, great morning, you guys. Great morning. Great morning, Miss Miranda. Great morning, April. It's so good to see you all this morning. You all, let me tell you something. God is so amazing and so incredible. I'm so excited about everything God is doing in my life and our lives. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Great morning. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Charla, how are you, gorgeous? You know, the week is going really fast because we had that holiday yesterday. Hold on. Oh, my goodness, y'all. God is so amazing. This word, listen, between the word yesterday and the word today, baby, you ought to be just, first of all, God been showing out all week, okay? Let's get that straight. Hey, Jackie, great morning, girl. Great day, great day. Yes, class tomorrow, y'all. Look, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to get my coffee to my liking, okay? So, y'all check this out. God is so, let me tell y'all, God is so incredible. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Hey, Stephanie. Congratulations on your book. Drop the link for people to order. Drop the link for people to order. Hey, girl. Hey. Thank y'all for sharing. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share the broadcast, y'all. Go ahead and share the broadcast. I'm getting my coffee together. I have my live. Like, hello. Now my coffee is just, my other, that I love coffee. So, especially this coffee. So, yeah. Y'all, it's a fly in here. So, if y'all see me swatting, I'm not crazy. All right. Thank you for sharing, April. Oh, yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Let me hit it with a little stevia. Bam. Let me see if that's it. Is that it? Oh, yeah. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. Angel number 133. We starting out with the angel numbers already this morning. Thank you, Pumpkin. My baby finna come kill the flies. That's what I'm talking about. All I gotta do is say, it's a fly in here. My baby come kill it. That's what I'm talking about. A man's man. Let me turn on my do not disturb, y'all. Hold on. We gonna get started. All right. All right. She said inbox her for her book information. She's personally mailing signed copies. Prisoner of War in the Mind, an anthology. God is amazing, and he is. You see him, baby? See, he's trying to hide now, but you'll put this in the refrigerator for me, please. Great morning, Evelyn. How are you? Okay. God. First of all, y'all, I didn't even put no makeup on, honey. Look. I don't know. God has just been doing such amazing and incredible things, and I'm so in awe of him. And so this morning I said, God, what do you want me to say to your people? What do you want me to say? What is the word that you have for them? And lots of things came to my mind, but this is what he said. I'm amazing, gorgeous. He said, babe, that's that forever young. I believe it, baby. The way my skin been looking and glistening and how soft and supple it is. I believe God when he says that on the other side of you, on the other side of me, is everything that we desire. That may seem crazy, right? That on the other side of you, like how do you get on the other side of you? How do you get on the other side of you to get to everything that you desire? Well, you got to know that you know who God has made you to be. Yesterday, something happened and it just blessed my entire soul, right? Coming into this marriage was an amazing thing, but also a challenging thing. And I'm just going to share some of the challenge. You guys see the amazingness. You see how we love each other. You see that. And I'm not saying anything against that. I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm not saying any of that. But there were challenges that we faced, challenges that I faced coming into this marriage. Now, the challenges weren't so great that I wouldn't marry him, but I knew that they existed. Okay. So I had dated someone for a few months who was a widower, and it was not, I think he thought he was ready for more than he was. And maybe he was ready for it, but it just wasn't with me. Right. But I believe that God will use relationships with people to prepare you for your next. Okay. My prayer is that he's found someone, or that he finds someone soon that's that person. And I think he may have found someone. And that's great. And that's amazing. I have nothing against it. I have nothing bad to say about that. I have nothing bad to say about him. Um, we just weren't the ones, right? And I think that when we begin to recognize that, we'll stop being mad at people about them not being the one, or us not being the one for them. Okay. It frees you up. That's a part of getting on the other side of you, right? See, we have the idea of who we think it's supposed to be, or how we think it's supposed to go. And it may not go like that. And so our natural inclination is to kind of feel some type of way about those people. But the reality is, what looked like rejection was really God's protection. God was protecting you from doing something that would put you in a place that was not where you were supposed to be. For me, I really didn't want to date another widower. I didn't want to date nobody whose wife died. If I was going to date somebody that had a wife before, I wanted them to be divorced. Preferably, he's the one that initiated it. Okay. All right. Listen, I wanted to be with someone who chose to exit their marriage versus someone whose marriage ended not by their own choice. Whether that not by their own choice was her leaving him, or she died. Like, I just didn't want that. Add to that the fact that when my husband and I got married, I knew that I would be moving with him, which was the house that he shared with his previous wife who died. Listen to me, y'all. I just want y'all to hear me. Now, look, I'm not saying anything negative about the situation. I'm simply talking about how I had to get on the other side of me. Okay. So I'm coming into a house that was her house, sitting on furniture that was her furniture. You understand what I'm saying? With these reminders of her presence. Now, granted, he did what he could to remove reminders of her presence from the house to make me as comfortable as possible. He did that. Like, if there was something and I said, well, babe, da, 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 there was a picture. He didn't even realize the picture was still up. And I was like, babe, and so, he made sure he took the picture down. So I'm not saying that, but I want you to listen to me. In my mind, listen, though I knew there was no competition, it felt as though there was competition. It felt as though we were both occupying this space. My concern was, is he going to be able to allow the space in his heart that he had for her to be that space, but make space in his heart for me, so that he would be more in the present than in the past. This is just me giving you real talk about how I had to get on the other side of me. Listen, they had 3 sons and grandchildren that they had built a life with for a span of 18 years. Okay? That's a lot of time in people's lives. He had family through their marriage that was his family for 18 years. And they all were here in Panama City, where I came to. I'm the stranger, right? I'm the addition to the community. They had friends and friendships that they developed together over a span of 18 years. I'm just talking about how God showed me that I had to get on the other side of me. Okay? There are people who joined this live that was a part of their lives. Do you understand? They built relationships with them, okay? And they've chosen to embrace me and build a relationship with me. But listen to me. I want y'all to hear me because I need you today to engage in some self-examination to see what is it in you that you need to get on the other side of so that you can get everything that you desire. I would like to think that those people who had relationship with them, who have chosen to embrace me and build relationship with me too, are benefiting from that relationship. Okay? God doesn't always do things the way we want them done or we think they should be done. But God does exactly what he plans to do for the good of all his children. So here these boys are. They're not boys, they're young men now, right? Their mother is gone. And now here's this other woman who is now married to the man who was their dad or is their dad, right? Living in the house where their mother lived. Listen to me, because I want y'all to get this. That's a lot to process. It's a lot to navigate. Okay? And I'm sure it evoked mixed feelings. When we begin to understand and put ourselves in other people's positions and begin to empathize with people, it helps us to understand why people may respond the way they respond. Okay? Right, Eveline? Angel number 133. Eveline is one of those people that had a relationship with Tim and Trish. They connected on a prayer line where Trish would pray. Listen to me. They met at a conference that they put together. You understand what I'm talking? I need y'all to understand the depth of what I'm talking about. I get the conflicting emotions. I get it. I even get the eyebrow raise. Harpo, who this woman, right? I get it. And I've had to work through my stuff, mine, so that I could empathize, so that I could open myself up to people. And navigate this space where my husband's trying to navigate the space where he loves me and he loves them and he doesn't want to make them feel no type of way, but he don't want to make me feel no type of way. So he finds himself sometimes in a catch-22. Now he might say he doesn't, but I know that he does. He's not quite sure how people are going to respond. Angel number 144, how I'm going to respond. And so sometimes to protect other people's feelings, you know, he might be a little less affectionate or less open in his affection. So it's not like he's throwing it in people's face, at which time I feel like, well, why you can't be with me the way you are with me? when we're any other, you understand? Y'all see how that can create friction. So check this out. I'm going somewhere. This is not just about putting him on the spot or putting anybody else on the spot. This is about me talking about me, okay? So yesterday, one of the boys came to pick something up. Now, I've seen the boys, all except one, the boys that are here, the boys that they share together, all except one. But I've seen the boys, I've interacted with them. They're always extremely nice and respectful, and just they're just good young men. They really are raised well. You can tell they're raised well. But yesterday was different. Yesterday was a little different. This was the first time that I interacted with the baby boy, who is not a baby, whose birthday is coming up, in the house, right? And we just had such an amazing, it was amazing for me. Let me talk about me. Anybody that knows me knows I love kids. Now, wait a minute, let me say it like this. Young people love me and I love young people, right? So that was never an issue. My concern was not being accepted. See, that's a nice way of saying not being rejected. Because really, it wasn't about not being accepted. It was about feeling rejection. My husband and I were talking about this today. And that kind of, it makes some things make sense to me, right? Angel number 144 is a sign of determination and hard work. It brings a message that to prepare for future security. Hold on. You must focus on building a solid foundation today. By taking a disciplined approach to your goals and dreams and accepting the importance of your thoughts and actions have on your reality, you can manifest your heart's desires. So, yesterday, I'm going to say that's how I feel. I don't know if they feel like that or not, but that's how I feel. Our son, TH, came by to pick something up. And my husband came back there because I was on a Zoom, but he tends not to want to interrupt me if I'm doing something. My thing is, tell me so I can decide, right? So I heard a voice. I said, hold up, because I knew he was coming. So I said, y'all, I'll be right back. Paused what I was doing, because one of the things that I want our children and our grandchildren to know, my husband to know, is that they are the most important thing in my life other than God, right? So I paused what I was doing and I went out there and I greeted him. I hugged him. I was talking to him, and we just were having a great interaction. If I had allowed concern for rejection to interfere with my willingness to go out there, we probably would have had a different interaction. But I was very open. I was excited to see him. I done loved on him. I'm just like I would be if one of the boys that I carried in my womb and birthed myself had been in there, right? And we just talked, and we were sharing, and we really hadn't had a chance to really spend any time together. But I was showing him pictures of the kids, and I was talking about his hair, because these kids had that wild hair thing going on. I said, "What you doing with your hair?" "What you doing with your hair? What's going on with your hair?" He was like, "I don't know. I'm thinking about cutting it off." I was like, "Oh, my boys got twists, and they got that crazy hair thing going." And I began to show him pictures and introduce him to the family so that he could see them, right? And he just was smiling, and he has these amazing dimples, and he looks so much like his mother. He's such a handsome young man. And I was like, "Boy, you look just like your mama with them dimples. You're so handsome." And it just was a great interaction. And I hugged him again. And I was like, I love you. And I just held him, you know. He was like, I love you too. That interaction meant a lot to me. Especially because that's the baby boy. It took forever for him to come back to the house. So I'm glad that I got on the other side of me that was afraid of them rejecting me, to open myself up to possibility. I will say this is what I'm going to say. Those people that are connected to my husband, who are also connected to Trish, have been amazing to me. No one has mistreated me. No one has acted no kind of way towards me. Her sister invited us to the house to watch the basketball game. But honestly, I wasn't ready. I wasn't sure what the interaction between Tim and I was going to be like in that space, and I didn't want something that was going to create an issue between us, because it would have been an issue between us for me if he acted differently towards me. So I didn't want to put us in that space at that time. But even in that, listen, I have to get on the other side of me, and he has to get on the other side of him. Okay? Now I'm using us as an example because maybe, just maybe, my honesty and my transparency about me will allow you to honestly look at you, angel number 166, to see what is it that you need to get on the other side of. And the truth of the matter is that most people have this fear of rejection that prevents us from doing certain things and going certain places and taking certain risks. We don't want to do it. Angel number 166. It's a powerful message from the angels, and it carries a message of new beginnings in one's personal life and forgiveness for mistakes made in the past. Angel number 166 is mainly concerned with your personal and family well-being. Oh, I need y'all to hear this today. Okay? Woo. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. It bears a message that you need to be orderly and more organized. There are benefits you stand to gain by using a practical approach in dealing with your family issues. If you value your family, you will take the message of angel number 166 to heart. This is because it guides you to make your family stable, secure, and happy. I can't make this stuff up. It bears the promise that your angels want nothing but the best for you. They want you to live your life to the fullest. That's why you keep seeing that number. Mm. They are drawing attention to some of the stellar qualities you possess. When you keep seeing this sign, your divine guides are assuring you, I done killed the fly. They are assuring you that you will never walk alone. They will hold your hand and gently guide you on this journey of life. They will provide you with the answers to some of the toughest questions in your life. Come on, y'all. Come on. This angelic sign opens up your organizational skills. As such, you'll discover that you have everything you need to lay a good foundation in your love life. You will get the inclination to work with your partner for the success of your relationship. It is a harbinger of good news. It conveys a message from the universe that good things are happening in your life. Your divine guides work through this sign to convince you of the need to take care of your partner, family, and loved ones. Listen, thank you, Evelyn. It's real, Denise. It's real. And the sooner we acknowledge it and examine where it comes from and face it, the sooner we can get on the other side of it, where all the things that we desire reside. I'm not trying to take your job, baby. I'm just trying to get them out my way. It's one more in here. I saved one for you. I feel like yesterday was God's way of letting me know that me doing the work that I'm doing on me is paying off. That me being who I am, showing up the way I show up with love and with open arms, is opening doors and it's opening hearts. It's time for you to get on the other side of you. Everything that you desire is on the other side of you. You getting out of your feelings, you dealing with your saboteurs, you facing your fears. That fear of rejection is rooted in the rooted in a saboteur. Um, mm. The saboteur or pleaser is the one that makes you want to be okay with everyone, wants everyone to like you and accept you, right? And so you try to do things in order for people to like you and accept you. You feel like you got to be perfect because if you're perfect, people will like you and accept you, right? It's also connected to the saboteur avoider. Avoider tends to operate in a place of positive, but almost a false positive. It's so positive, it doesn't acknowledge the challenges. It doesn't acknowledge any negative, but it also doesn't give you the opportunity to address things, to deal with things, right? That avoider will have you avoiding people, places, situations, and things, just so that you don't have to deal with whatever it is. Well, today I came to tell you it's time for you to deal with the things that you need to deal with, because everything you desire is on the other side of you dealing with that stuff. Denise said, working on getting rid of that avoider. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this because avoider was one of my top saboteurs. Avoider and pleaser, they were some of my tops. And I'm going to tell you where they came from in my life and how they showed up. Now, listen, I'm telling y'all this because God needs you to understand. Yesterday, I know yesterday was one of those days where I was just like, today I'm teaching. And there's a reason that I'm teaching. Okay, God can pump you up and he can tell you to come forth, but you're not going to come forth till you deal with the stuff in you that you need to deal with. And this is the thing. That same stuff will stop you after you come forth from staying forth. It'll stop you from coming all the way forth. It'll stop you from showing up fully. See, those things will stop you from being able to embrace and to possess all of the promises that God has made for you, right? Because you made mistakes and you didn't get things right. Y'all, I'm getting ready to share something with y'all. I need y'all to hear this. So we're going to talk about accountability in relationship. Accountability in relationship. I don't have a lot of close female friends, right? The ones that I do have, I value those relationships. And one thing about me is if I value a relationship, I'll risk the rejection. I'll risk, being laughed at. I'll lay it all on the line for a relationship that I value. Okay. So I notice things. And when I notice that something changes in a relationship, and when it's a relationship that it's really significant to me, I'm going to reach out, right? I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see what's going on. Something seems off. I'm just trying to see, did I do anything? If I did, let me know. Well, I know that this happened. Did this bother you? Were you offended? Because if you were, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about accountability in relationships, okay? See, when we are accountable in our relationships, then we will not be caught up in our pride. See, at the root of the fear of rejection is pride. We don't want our pride to be hurt or injured. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of the things that I went through in my life, I went through because of my pride. There were things that God had to allow me to go through because of my pride. I was too prideful to ask for help. See, people think of pride and they think that, oh, you just think you're better than everybody else. No, that's not the case. That's not always the case. Sometimes pride is just you don't want to have to need anybody else. Angel number 166, again, back to family, back to foundation, back to the importance of working on these things and building a solid foundation. Sometimes you just don't want to need someone else like that. Now, you'll be there for everybody else, baby. You don't have a problem with that. You'll give your last. Listen. Some of the most prideful people will give their last to other people, but they won't ask for help when they need it. That's pride. So out of that pride, or maybe, I don't know which comes first, the pride or the fear of rejection. I don't know. But what I know is they go together. Pride and fear of rejection go together. So for me, I'm just going to talk about me for a minute, y'all, okay? So for me, that not wanting to ask anyone for help, even though I'm willing to give my last, a lot of it was rooted in feeling rejected by my daddy growing up, my daddy who raised me. And I don't think he meant it to be rejection, but it felt like rejection to me. See, a lot of times people don't understand how you perceive something, okay? So they operate based on how they have been known to operate, or, they just do what they do, or what they've seen, or what they learned growing up, what they experienced. They'll do that back to you. So my daddy would always talk about what was wrong with me. What's wrong with your head? You need to do something to your hair. Like, it was never an emphasis on the good stuff. The emphasis was always on the bad stuff, or the stuff that he felt needed to be improved. So I never felt like I was enough. I never felt like I measured up. I never felt like I was good enough. So I spent my youth trying to be perfect so that I could get my daddy's approval. And then when I got older, people would tell me, not even just when I got older, even when I was younger, people would tell me, oh, your daddy's so proud of you. And I'd be like, who? Who are you talking about? Because I know you ain't talking about Norman. Because Norman just told me that I need to get myself together and I need to do something to my head and I need to this and I need to that. That I ain't heard nothing about nothing good. All I done heard was something bad, something I need to work on, something I need to fix. That's all I've heard. Parents, resist the temptation to tell your children what they need to correct when you're not giving them more of what's amazing about them. Because that negative will weigh them down, and it will also cause them to disconnect from you, not want to be a part of your life. Listen to me, I'm telling y'all what I know for a fact, okay? Yes, Denise, this affects individuals in adulthood. Please give praises to your children. I have many therapy sessions about this. Y'all listen, I know you think, you think that, well, this is what's best for them, or this is, listen, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, we have licensed clinical therapists on the line, and they are in agreement with what I'm telling you. I'm telling y'all what is the truth. Charlotte says best parenting advice. Stephanie said real talk. Y'all, I'm serious about this. Remember, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again to reiterate it. For every one negative word, one negative thought, it takes 3 positives just to balance it out. That means it takes 4 to put them in a more positive mindset. So think about that. Think about that. For every one negative that you point out about your children, it takes 4 to put them in a positive. And I'm not telling you, don't tell them the truth. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, understand that the impact of your negative words will have a greater impact than your positives. The same is true with you. It's easy for you to look at yourself and find the negative things about yourself. Absolutely, Denise. Absolutely. Yes, Corey. Yes. If you can only see the negative about you, then when you see a negative thing about yourself, angel number 177, you're going to focus on that negative thing. And it doesn't matter. Somebody can tell you how beautiful you are. You're not hearing that because you got that negative thought. They can tell you, oh, you're amazing. You ain't hearing it yet. It ain't broke through yet. They can tell you, you so smart. You ain't hearing it yet. Okay, all right, maybe. Now we balance. But for you to get to the place where you believe it, you need at least one more positive thought to get you in a positive mindset. So how about this? Just how about this? Let me look up angel number 177. Listen, God has really been, listen. Angel number 177 is associated with courage and bravery. It means that you should never give up on your dreams and goals. You have the strength and the courage to achieve anything you set your mind to. How many of you wish you'd gotten more of that growing up? How many of you wish we'd gotten more of, you can do anything you set your mind to? You're so smart. You're amazing. You're brilliant. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're going to change the world. You're a change agent. You're an innovator. Right, Christina? People didn't understand, and sometimes they don't understand why I am the way I am with my children. I have parented old school parenting style, right? I parented like that. It created a fracture in my relationship with my oldest son that it took a long time for us to get on the other side of, okay? With my younger children, I was less critical and more encouraging. I would tell them the amazing things about them, but it came after, listen to me, it came after me dealing with our daughter and her running away off and on for a year, and me not understanding why she would need to run away when she had her own room, her own TV, her own game system, her own cell phone. Like, you got your own room, your own bed, like you got your own stuff, right? It wasn't about that. It was about that she felt like she could never measure up. That's what it was about. And whether I said that out of my mouth, my actions indicated that. And when I would criticize her or critique her or tell her stuff she needs to do, right? More than I told her those amazing things about herself, negatively affected her. That's real talk. She felt like there were unrealistic expectations for her and she could never measure up. So she was like, I don't even want to be here because I can be somewhere else and people think I'm amazing. You understand? And not just me, but her dad, you know? So the way we were dealing with her and her acting out was not the best way, right? So I had to reevaluate myself and even why I was doing that. I was doing that because I was trying to get a rein on it, because you making me look bad out here. Acting like you ain't got no what? Y'all fill in the blank. You out here acting like you ain't got no. I know y'all know what the rest of that sentence is. You out here acting like you ain't got no what? Y'all tell me what it is. Because I know y'all know. Home training. You out here acting like you some of these kids that's out in the ghetto, that ain't never seen nothing, ain't been nowhere, ain't never, had nobody to teach them nothing. Home training. Sense. Yes. Yes. More so home training, because sense deals with her and home training deals with us. You out here acting like I ain't taught you nothing? Like you don't know that you ain't supposed to do that? You better get yourself together. And it wasn't that she didn't have home training, and it wasn't that she didn't have sense. She had plenty of both. It was that she felt like she could never measure up, so why bother? Why try? Anybody ever felt like that in life, in relationships? Doesn't matter what I do, it's going to be wrong, so why even bother? Again, that's rooted in that pleaser saboteur, right? It's rooted in that pleaser saboteur, because you begin to see any form of something didn't go just right as, well, if I don't show up as perfect, they're going to let me go. If I don't show up as perfect, they're going to cheat on me. If I don't show up as perfect, they're not going to want me to be in their life. If I don't show up as perfect, I won't be enough. No, we have to brace that we are flawed. So when I talk to you all about me, about my flaws, about the stuff that I have done, I'm doing that for a reason. Because if you listen to me, if you respect me, if you value me, and yet I can tell you, I've effed up some stuff in my life, some relationships, romantic and friendship, right? And business. Then maybe, just maybe, you will allow yourself some grace in not being perfect. It's not what you did, it's did you grow from it? Yeah, of course, there'll be people who will try to make you stay in a place. Yeah, they'll try to keep you right there no matter what changes you go through. But there are those who will see you and appreciate those things about you. They'll see your growth. It's why I tend to see the positive in people and believe that people can change. Why do I believe so much that people can change? Because I know I've changed. I know I've grown. And not that I was a horrible person, but that my saboteurs would go to work, that I would be transactional in my interactions with people. And so I have to work not to be transactional in my interactions. I'll do this for you if you do this for me. Or when I do this for you, my expectation is that you're going to do this for me. I try not to be transactional because it's a dangerous place to be. It's a very slippery slope. Then you can fall into the thing of you only want to interact with people when they're beneficial to you, when they can do something for you. It is almost like hanging something over people's heads, dangling the carrot, dangling, what does it say? Dangling the proverbial carrot, right? So that, I always got this right here to get you to do what I want you to do. No, I don't want that. I don't want those kinds of relationships. I want real, genuine, authentic relationships, not based on you being able to do something for me, but based on the fact that I care about you and you care about me. Everything else is just an outgrowth of how we feel about one another. I don't want you to do it just because you feel obligated. And maybe that can be limiting in some ways. You may not move as quickly in some things, but you will establish a relationship where people know that you value them and their presence in your life, not just for what they can do or because you want them to do something, but just for who they are. Stephanie says, being transactional sets the stage for offenses and conflict. Absolutely. See, when people tell me stuff like, well, I've done this and I've done that, and I've done this and I've done that, and so now you're offended because I didn't do something that you felt like I should do because of the stuff that you've done. Listen, I've done that. I've done that in my life. I've done things because I felt like I ought to. Listen, this is the danger of this. I've had sex with someone because I felt obligated. Not because I wanted to, but because I felt obligated. Because I felt I owed them. That sounds real crazy, don't it? I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. Not only that, but our society sets a stage where, women are often made to feel obligated. That man spent all that money on you and you didn't even. How many times he done bought you dinner and you still ain't? He paid that bill for you and he ain't getting none? I felt obligated. I did. Evelyn said, me too. I felt obligated. It wasn't because I wanted to give him my body. It was, okay, I guess I need to do this. It's one of the reasons that I'm big on telling the girls, the young women in my life, listen, when a guy wants to do something for you, you don't have to feel obligated to have sex with him. Make that clear to him. Before you do this, I need you to understand that just because you do this doesn't mean that I'm going to have sex with you. So knowing that, I need you to make your decision wisely. If you can't take me out to a nice dinner without expecting me to have sex, you don't need to take me out to dinner, period. I can get my own dinner. This even happens with children, so we have to be careful here. With children, we'll teach them, oh, you got to hug and kiss that person because, they're an adult or because they occupy a particular role in your life. This is the danger, though. There are people who count on that. And so because they know that you teach your kids, you just do what adults say. They'll say, well, you know that if you don't do this, you're going to get in trouble. I'm going to say this and they're not going to believe you. Even with my grandkids, I don't try to make them give me a hug and kiss. If they don't want to, they don't want to. They don't want to talk to me right then. They ain't got to talk to me right then. Nothing I do for them is predicated on them having to do something for me because it sets a dangerous stage for them. It's a very slippery slope. And a lot of kids have found themselves being sexually abused because of that kind of thinking, that thought process, that transactional approach to life. Give me a kiss and I'm going to give you this sucker. Okay, it's cute when it's grandma and the grandbaby, right? It's innocent. But what happens when it's that molester? Charlotte said, nope, we high five or fist bump, whatever they are comfortable with. They read people better than us, and they do. And even when they just don't feel like it. Listen, I got some funny acting grandkids, okay? So Joseph used to not really fool with me, right? Joseph used to not really fool with me. Like, I try to hug him. He didn't really know me like that. He was born during the pandemic. I was the last of the grandparents to see him, so we had to build relationship. Now we have relationship, but if he don't feel like doing something, he's not going to do it. My granddaughter, Brooklyn, yesterday, I'm trying to talk to Brooklyn. She said, ugh, girl, who is you talking to? I said, all right, Micah, listen, I'll talk to her when she's in a better mood. She's like, ugh, little girl. What? Little girl. But I want her to know that she has a right to feel how she feels. That's important to these kids. Charles talking about LOL, me too, and mine live either, me too and mine. Her tiny weirdos. Stephanie said, learned behaviors form patterns, and as adults, we now have to unpack and unravel. We got to be unwrapped, y'all. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Shamika said, right, me too. Charlotte said, they live with me. Yes. She was saying, mine too. Her little weirdos, and they live with her, right? But it's okay, girl, your fat fingers. Listen. Everything that you desire is on the other side of you. That means it's worth it to do the unpacking and the unraveling. It's worth it to really look at you. It's worth it to get on the other side of your fear of rejection, your fear of failure, your fear of success, your avoidance tendencies. That avoider saboteur, it's not your friend. Avoiding doesn't make things go away. And sometimes a simple conversation can fix a misunderstanding. When you value people, not for what they do for you, not for what they can do for you, but just for who they are. Make sure you let them know that. And be willing to face whatever you got to face, to deal with whatever you got to deal with, to solidify, to mend, to fix, to develop a solid foundation for those relationships. God woke me up and I'm inspired to build relationship, to build foundation. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes it to you to be nice or to be kind. Nobody owes it to show you grace. Nobody owes you anything. But we owe it to God to show up the way he shows up. Even God won't force you. Even God won't manipulate you. And remember this, manipulation is witchcraft. It's witchcraft. I know y'all don't want to be witches. So we have to check ourselves so that we come from authentic places. And we deal with people authentically, giving them free will and choice. Kim said, I'm working through avoidance in therapy right now. It's so rooted, but I'm plucking up and healing. Amen. I'm so grateful for the work that I've done in No More Sabotage to help people identify these things and recognize the hold as well as the behaviors, the language and the thoughts that come with them. It's an incredible thing and an incredible gift. But you got to see what it is that you desire. Let God guide you today and trust that he'll work things out the way they need to be worked out. Remember, rejection is sometimes a form of protection. And just because someone may not be able to be in close relationship with you right now doesn't mean that it's permanent. It may mean that they need some time. There may be some things they need to process through. So give it to them and trust that God will work out what needs to be worked out. Listen, I have come to the place in my life where I understand that I've got to be obedient to God and do what God tells me to do. And it may mean some people are not happy with me. It may mean they don't like me. It may mean they feel some type of way about me. But I know this, any relationship that is God ordained, it will come back around. And God will give the opportunity for it to come back around. Do not, because sometimes things got a bit radical, like got to be a total break before it can come back and be in balance, okay? So don't be afraid to say what you need to say and do what you need to do. And then believe God will do any repairing. God will show what needs to be shown, reveal what needs to be revealed in you and the other person. Donnell said, yes, it will. Absolutely. This is my approach to life. I had to come to grips with the fact that I had to come to grips with the fact that sometimes people's idea of me will cause them to be disappointed at the reality of me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm on here being fake. Y'all, I'm very upfront. I'm very upfront. Like, I'm very real in what I say when it comes to who I am. But when you experience it, especially if you're a perfectionist, especially if you have these ideas of what people are supposed to be like. Listen, yes, he can, Donnell. He did that with Donnell and I. Listen, Donnell has she's very perfectionist. Like, she's very perfectionist, and she had these ideas of how I was supposed to be. And I had to tell her, listen, look, I need you to get me off this pedestal that you're trying to put me on. I don't go on a pedestal. I'm a real human being. I have moods. Sometimes I want to be bothered. I just want to be in my own space. When I'm on, I'm on. But when I'm off, I want to be alone. Like, for real. And it's not personal. Listen, my organization is not the best. I don't like cleaning. There are things I don't like and things I'd rather put my energy into because I know my energy is limited, right? So Donnell and I, it was a little, she was a little disillusioned with me. She was a lot of disillusioned with me. And it took a toll on our relationship. But this is what I know. I knew that God connected us. So I'm not tripping over that because I understand people have their process. You got to let people have their process. You got to let people go through what they got to go through. And you got to allow yourself to be open to God reconnecting, mending, repairing, fixing anything that needs to be fixed. That's why I never just totally throw a relationship away. I give room for it to change. You got to give room. And sometimes it takes a while for the change to occur, or people to realize what was going on, or for you to even realize what was going on with you. So you go through that, but you don't give up on people. I'm grateful God never gave up on me. Because there's nothing anyone has ever done to me that I have not done to God. Something worse. So I extend grace. Because I know I stand in need of grace. There's a song and it says, God can heal. He will deliver. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I think that when we allow God to do what it is that he needs to do in us, we will give space for him to do what he needs to do in other people without us trying to do it. I've been guilty of that. With the best intentions. But intentions don't change impact. I know. Angel number 168. That's 16 and that 8. That's like 3 8s, right? I pray this word blessed you. I pray that you got what you needed today. I pray that you heard from God what you needed to hear to allow you to do what you need to do to get on the other side of you so that God can give you everything that you desire. I love you guys to life. And I can't look it up right now. But I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Get on the other side of you. Do the work so you can get to everything that you desire because it's there. I promise you it's there waiting for you to get on the other side of you. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed.